If you built an app in Noloco, you are going to love the multi-step action buttons that they provide. These buttons allow us to chain together a series or a sequence of events and put them all under one roof through one interface. So by pushing one button, we can take multiple different action steps. I'm going to show you exactly how to build this in your Noloco apps. So if that's of interest, stick around and let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Gareth and this is Gap Consulting. It's our mission to help you unlock the full potential of no-code tools. We consult in a number of different tools, including Noloco, the topic of today's video. Before we get into the heart of things though, I first want to invite you to join me for some free automation training. If you're new to no-code building in general, you are going to be amazed at what automation can bring to you. It doesn't matter what tool you're using, whether it's Noloco or something else to put together your no-code automations. I'm going to teach you the basic building blocks in my no-code automation training. Grab that at gapconsulting.io/webinar-registration. Sign up with your email and you'll get immediate access. But without further ado, let's hop on into my screen. I invite you to follow along with me if you already have Noloco. And if you don't, please consider using our affiliate link. It's a great way to show some love right on back to the channel. Now here I am inside of my Noloco app. I just stood this up and it's a really basic one. I've got clients, opportunities, and projects. Now, of course, a client connects to an opportunity. And from the opportunity, we then, when it's a closed deal, like if we close the opportunity process and we win the deal, then we're going to create a project inside of our third table. Now, Noloco is a little bit different in that we can store our data here as well as build our automations and everything else. It's an all-in-one platform. So I might go over here and look at the data. And here's where you see the different tables or data sets that we have. As I mentioned, client, opportunities, and projects. And of course, by default, Noloco also creates our users. So this particular table allows us to then store all of our user information. These are the people who have permission to access our published app. Now, we also have our workflows, and I've put together a quick workflow. And the idea behind this is it's going to be one of the steps, one of many, in our button. So when we push our multi-step button, one of the things it's going to do is actually run a workflow. And this is a pretty simple workflow. As you can see, the trigger is when somebody pushes that action button. It doesn't have to be the first step in the action sequence. It simply has to be connected to that button in some form. And then here, all we're going to do is update a record. So when we push the button inside of an opportunity, we are going to update that opportunity. So we're saying we are updating the collection, the opportunity that was pushed in the button trigger, as you see right here. And all we're doing is updating the status to closed-1. What does this mean? Well, let's actually flip back now into our app itself, and we can walk through what this looks like. So inside of our app, we have opportunities. And as you can see here, we've put them in a nice little Kanban view. I have these 4 different stages, 1 through 4, showing on my screen. Now we have other stages. We have the closed-1 stage, which I just demoed in our workflow, but you don't see it here because when I built the app, I simply said, hey, I don't actually want to see that component. So by clicking down on the pencil icon below, we get the actual build mode. We can see how we set this up. It's a board layout. We can see the different stages that we allow on our screen. We've toggled off the closed 1 because the idea is we're looking at our pipeline. Once we close or win that opportunity, it needs to be removed from here entirely. But that's not all we want to have happen, right? There's more stuff that needs to happen when we close out that opportunity. We need to create the project. We need to assign the project to somebody. We need to give it a name, a start date, all of this stuff. And so these are different steps within the same action button. When we close a deal, when we win an opportunity, then we need a bunch of different steps to take place. So let's talk about how we can build this. When we click into an opportunity, you'll see that I've included a new button here that says Mark Deal Closed. And when I push this, it initiates a sequence of events, not just one action step, not just one simple workflow, but a series of things that must happen in order. Let's take a look at what this is set up to look like. I'll go back into build mode, and down here on the right-hand side, we see our action buttons. If we hover over the action button, we can click the pencil icon again to go into editing this particular action button. In addition, we can add new action buttons. And note that there's a difference between the edit button here. This is inside of the record itself, and we can choose to edit information. The edit button lives up here in our builder mode, and we can either show it or not. We can give, specific instructions to how we want the edit button to work. This is a different kind of button. This is an action button that we're talking about. So let's toggle out of that edit button and drill into the action button that we named Mark Deal Closed. Now we have a bunch of different button settings. You've likely already explored these inside of Noloco if you've played in the software for a while. You can change the success, the icon of the button. You can change the type, whether it's a modal or a one-click. And you can also assign the information that comes up on that modal. So since we're putting together a workflow, which is going to consist of multiple different action steps, I'm going with the modal option. I don't want it to be a one-click. It's going to have multiple steps. And I can give that modal a title. Please confirm the deal is won. We can even add a little description here. Note that we can bring in dynamic data. If we want to bring in information from this particular record, for example, we can. Or we can just put in some static stuff like, here's a description. We can also add a button tooltip here, which I'll skip for now. And then we have our notifications. So do we want to show a notification when the action is complete? Mainly all of the actions? Well, yes, we have a sequence of actions that we're running here. So let's toggle on our notification and say success. This is now complete. This is just a nice way to add a little bit of more validity around our data so that we know that we took all the appropriate steps inside of our app and that we've completed this workflow. Now, let's get into the actions. This is what happens when we push the button. And most software allows us to set up a singular action and maybe tie that action to an automation. But here in Noloco, we can tie to multiple different action steps so that we run through a human in the loop process as we go through the button. So number one, when we click on this button, the modal's going to pop up. It's going to say, are you sure you want to do this? Whatever we put in this part up here, where we gave it a modal title and description, that's going to go in first. Once we confirm that we do want to do it, now it's going to run the action steps. The first one that I set up here is running an on-demand workflow. If you recall, we already have our workflows over here. Let's open them up in a new tab. And as a quick reminder, when we click that button, as part of the steps, part of the actions, we are going to update the record. We're going to update the status of the deal. Remember, it doesn't matter where the deal currently is. It's going to be in stage 1, 2, 3, or 4. But we are now, when we click that button and confirm it, going to update it to a closed deal. We marked the deal as closed. That's just step 1. The next part is we need to create that project associated with this particular opportunity. So here's where we added in something else. Adding another step here. What are we doing after we mark the status? Well, then we're going to create a new record. And in this case, we're going to add a record to the project from this opportunity, meaning that it automatically links to the opportunity that we push the button from. But check this out. If we drill into this, we don't just get stuck with that one record being created, linking it directly to this opportunity. We have more options as well. We're adding a name, we're adding a start date. So we have the ability to add in multiple components here. And we can even dynamically pre-fill this information based on things that exist inside of the opportunity. Remember, we're creating a record in a new table. So if we look at the name, you'll see I've given it a default value that matches the title of the opportunity that we just closed. Now I can override this, which you'll see when I run my demo in just a moment. But it's going to at least start with that title, saving us a lot of work, saving us a lot of keystrokes, and making work more efficient. Next, I'm setting up my start date here. Inside of the new record I create, I'm putting in this new start date, and I'm setting a default value using relative dates to now. So I can, of course, change that date, but by default, that project, if I don't make any changes, will start the same day that I push the button. And similarly, we added some relative dates to the end date. In this case, I'm choosing the end of the month. Whatever the current month is going to be automatically filled out there. And of course, we can update that as needed. So that's great. Now that's our second step. So first step, as a quick recap, we're updating the record based off of a workflow automation. Second step is we're creating a new record associated with the record that pushed the button. And then for our third step, let's step out of here, again, go back into our action button and drill all the way down to our third step. We can navigate to another page. So after I push the button, it's going to take us somewhere that we want to go. Well, I just said, take me to this URL. I could send another page, I could go to a phone, I could go to an email, but in this case, I just put our website, and I'm going to, at the end of this, open up the website for Gap Consulting after the third step of the button push. Now note that I can add more stuff here. I can add additional steps. There's really no end here. I can update records, create new records, delete existing records, adding comments via automation, navigating, running on-demand workflows as we demoed, show iframes. We can embed forms from third parties, show all kinds of stuff here. We can view a record, scan a barcode, copy to clipboard. I mean, it's pretty much endless. We can add a huge chain of events, but the best part is there is a human in the loop. As we go through these steps, we are going to be able to change information on the fly. Let me go ahead and delete this new step that I was adding, and we're going to take this all out for a test. So here we go. I am in this opportunity called New Product Launch. When I mark the deal closed, it's saying confirm the deal is won. Here's a description. You saw me type that not too long ago. Let's confirm that we want to go through this workflow. So what happens first? We are updating the status of this record. So this is now marked to closed or won. And if you look closely in the background, you can see the status right here has already been updated for this opportunity. But now it's saying, hey, remember our second step is to create a new project. And check this out. I'm recording this video as of October 15th. It's pre-filling this date in, but I don't have to stick with this. I can make changes. Maybe this project kicks off on November 1st, which means then that it's not going to end on October 31st, but maybe it'll end with the year 2024. So on December 31st. And here's the title. This is the title, New Product Launch of the opportunity, but I can update it. I can give it another name, or edit the name as I see fit. When I'm confirming here, this is the human in the loop component. I'm interacting with the process through this multi-step action button. I can update things or just move on and confirm. Now on the last step, it's gonna take us to a new website, if you recall, and here it is, it's loading, just got us to our website at Gap Consulting. So as you see, we can go through all of these different steps sequentially in the button itself. So adding multi-steps to your buttons is going to truly empower you to take your Noloco apps to a whole new level. I know we went quickly in this video. If you like what you saw here, but you need a little help, swing by our website. We are here for you. Of course, I hope you got a ton of value from this, and if you did, we would love a thumbs up and a subscribe to the channel. But most importantly, keep on building.